Hello everybody, coming to you today from my 2018 BMW 540d US model. This is the G30. So one thing that I think this may have actually happened because I didn't do a whole lot of driving in the winter time. Whenever the roads were wet or really salty, I let it sit. Sometimes it would sit for like maybe a month. I think that may have contributed to what I recently learned was called pad transfer on the front brake rotors. And so what that would do is it would make it feel like you have warped rotors, even though the rotors aren't actually warped. One weird thing about pad transfer is in certain circumstances it felt fine. In other circumstances you could feel it. Now, there's not a whole lot of real details online about what exactly to do about that. I'm going to do a little acceleration run here. Going uphill, merging on the highway, making sure nobody's coming, and hit the resume button. Actually, the speed limit is a little higher here. Anyway, so one of the things that people say to do is to do a bedding in process, which is something along the lines of get up to 60 or 80 miles an hour and then brake hard down to 20 miles an hour, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, and then drive without applying the brakes until they thoroughly cool down. I tried something like that. It didn't really seem to affect it one way or the other, but one thing I noticed was driving in the rain, and not necessarily doing a bedding in process, just driving in the rain and doing normal braking activities actually seemed to help. So I don't know if the water getting on the rotors helps the pads to clean them off a little bit. It's still not perfect, but after driving it a couple times in the rain, it seems better. Now, I had actually also avoided doing that, but obviously not today. My plan with this car is actually to keep it pretty much forever. So that's why I wanted to avoid driving it in the winter so it doesn't rust. I also was trying to avoid it in the rain for the same reasons, but I don't think the rain's really going to affect it that much. So yeah, I've reverted back to driving it in the rain, and we'll just still leave it parked for the winter time, unless the roads are just nice and dry. But yeah, I would say that probably cleared up about 80% of the issues with the brakes. You know, like for example, right here, I'm going just under 80, and with these trucks, I need to slow down a little bit, so I'm going to hit the brakes. I mean, I can feel it a little bit still. Maybe you heard it when I applied the brakes, but it wasn't nearly as dramatic as it was before that. So hopefully that helps somebody. The only really true fix I was told was to actually replace the pads and rotors, but when I was at the dealer, they told me my front pads were at 5/32. So I don't really want to do that because it's not a horrible thing. And the dealer quoted me like $1,600, $1,700 to do the job. Very expensive. I think that's because this is the sport line, so it has the bigger brakes. I may look into doing that myself when it comes time to do that, but I figure I've probably got at least, another 10, 20,000 miles on these brakes. And I really don't want to don't want to replace those until it's necessary to do so. All right, well, that's it on that topic. Have a great day, everyone.